Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included here in our one duplicate challenge. In today's episode I would like to exchange my oxygen system. At the moment we're using the oxygen diffuser and a pump in order to do everything. Of course that is using up our algae that we could use otherwise, and I would like to exchange my oxygen system with the one and only method, the electrolyzer. However, we will have to research that first. It is only a simple research, nothing to be afraid of. I'm going to build the oxygen system here at the bottom, so let's already prepare a little space. I basically want to enclose this inside a layer of insulated tiles so we can regulate the temperatures. There's going to be an upper floor 2 high and a lower floor that is going to be 3 high. Somewhere here we'll have to make our entry. We'll also have to pump everything out. That could actually be a problem because the pressure is already really high. So we might want to use that oxygen to pump into our base. Yeah, as long as I don't have access to plastics, I cannot build the high pressure gas vent. I will be needing about 6 spaces to accommodate for a smart battery as well as a hydrogen generator, which by the way we also still have to research if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there we go. Advanced power regulation. I'm gonna research that right after the one we are currently conducting. Anyways, we're gonna continue with an airflow tile right there. This would be walled off, but I'm gonna leave a little space open so I can continue building, and then all we need to is finish the encasement like this. This is all gonna be hollowed out. There is gonna be 1 block, and then we can already set up our pumps. Gas pumps, we need 3 of them. One is gonna go here. This one is picking up the hydrogen, and then we'll have 2 pumps like so for the oxygen. We're also gonna need an atmos sensor, so that might be a third research we have to conduct. Let me see. The atmos sensor, no, we already researched that, so I did not look right. Yeah, there we go. Atmos sensor, perfect. We need to detect just how much gas we have in there. And we're gonna do that right here. We're also gonna do that right there, I'm guessing. These sensors are gonna activate the pumps when we have a certain amount of gases in there. And also, if we don't use the gases, I would like a way to actually stop everything. So we'll add another sensor right there that is gonna determine when to stop the entire contraption. And there goes Nathan Mayhem building everything in record speeds. Now the way we're actually going to be cooling this down is with the water we already have incoming. Right now it is at a nice and cozy 24 degrees. And most of the water we'll be getting still is going to be around that temperature. And even if it goes all the way up to 40, that is still bearable. So what we will be doing is taking our water from here and we'll be bringing it all the way, let's actually input it on the bottom left side. Now just see, for this project I'm gonna need yet another research which is gonna include the radiant pipes. Let me actually check that out as well. Radiant pipes and also insulated pipes would be great. The radiant liquid pipe comes with a whole bunch of automation as well. But in terms of liquids, it's gonna require another research. So that's 4 researches to be done. I mean, we'll have to get these researches out of the way at some point. So why not do it right now with the goal of actually being able to build this contraption. It would be providing enough oxygen for 8 duplicates. Of course, we only have 1. But that's just the nature of an electrolyzer. And if we're using the automation smartly, we can stop the contraption so it doesn't overproduce the oxygen. Slowly but surely we're also getting a little bit low on food, so that might be the next step we have to take towards survival. Good, now everything is coming together. We should be able to set up a bunch of pipes. Let's do some sandstone pipes just to exemplify that this is a starter build, and we're going to be bringing the oxygen towards the base where we need it. I just got 400 kilograms of refined copper from the printing pot, very useful in this situation. Oh, looks like we have another worn atmos suit. How is our reed fiber supply? It's actually really high. We probably don't need that many plants. Yeah, even 1 single plant might be overkill for a duplicate. I think what we should do is prioritize the exosuit forge a little bit. So once we have a broken suit, I'm always going to prioritize repairing it. And there we go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Fresh suit and docking it. Wonderful. Oh, I almost forgot to set up the automation wire. This goes to both of the pumps. This goes to the hydrogen pump, and this one will go somewhere down here to the battery's output and eventually the electrolyzer. I'm gonna explain it once we actually have everything in place, but the battery's input is gonna be somewhere here. Then we go through the generator and we want to go all the way into the electrolyzer's input, which is gonna be there. You know, this is actually really good. Everything is oxygen right now. This is gonna make it easy to pump it out. We can just directly pump it into the oxygen system as long as we now make the liquid lock in time. There, I'm just gonna drop a tiny amount of water here, so in case something goes wrong, at least we keep the oxygen and it's not gonna mix with other gases. Just a drop, I said. Oh man, I'm gonna have to mop up the rest except for this little bit. Almost everything is now cleaned up. We should be able to get into the research very soon. I'm just missing one component, and that is the power wire. Now, as mentioned, this is going to be self-powered. It is powering all 3 pumps and the electrolyzer just with the hydrogen it generates. And I probably want the cable to look something like this. Okay, now everything has been built that needs to be built on the top. That means I'm gonna take apart the ladder. We can already set up the smart battery. And that should be good as of this point. I even have enough copper still for that smart battery. Let's go ahead and place it as a last deed before doing the research. Can we do it before bedtime? Yes! I'm already gonna set up the battery to 95% high threshold and 60% low threshold. Oh, I'm just in time. We are about to complete the research. 4 researches are done. Advanced power regulation, air systems technology. We got the improved plumbing technology, and finally liquid tuning technology. This is gonna allow us to build the rest of the stuff. First and foremost, a hydrogen generator right there. Let's build it out of copper. Now we also know where we need to lead the pipes here for the hydrogen. It can just go straight down and over. We also unlocked the electrolyzer that we're gonna set up right there. I'm also gonna need to get back in there in order to set up 2 types of liquids. We're gonna use some type of glitch in order to regulate the spawning of the gases in the exact way we want. I also unlocked another skill point. Look at that. We actually get another 6 morale because of last cycle's decor was nice. So that's something we cannot rely on. Let's have a look at that decor. How is that even nice? I mean, I've done... I get it. It's because of the overall that I'm actually wearing. This is brilliant. So this might actually become a permanent buff as long as I'm not working in really crappy environments. But it looks as though as I'm already starting with a pretty high base decoration that is kind of portable. Wonderful. Building speed is already pretty good for a hydrogen generator. And there is the beauty, not much to go. Our next goal is to set up a bottle emptier here together with 2 different liquids. We can take any 2 different liquids, except maybe polluted water wouldn't be a good idea. So my suggestion would be to go for a little bit of salt water. Yeah, we're just gonna break this open. Let's do that. Let's do it on the top so we can make a little puddle. And then if we just go ahead and remove this, we should be able to set up a pitcher pump and pick up some of that liquid. Wait a second, I totally forgot about that brine. This is totally not necessary what I've just done here. All we need is the space for a pitcher pump and then we can pick up the salt water or brine. Anyways, while I'm sleeping, let's already set up the pipes. I'm gonna go with radiant pipes. We only have copper available. Do I already have access to iron? Yeah, we have 63 tons of iron already, so I should be crafting some of that, to be honest. I already set eggshell to lime, unlimited, and fossil to lime, so whenever we get some of that stuff, it should be crushed into lime for future steel production. But right now I want to see quite a few crafts of iron ore. Let's do 20 crafts. And then a pitcher pump right there. I'm already gonna add the brine. We want to enable auto bottle, make this a high priority. And preferably I want to get 200 kilograms, so a pitcher pump worth of it should be good. There it comes, brine, wonderful. And then once that is empty, I want to switch to water, keep it at the same priority so we can disable it later on. So we can deconstruct it right away. There comes my water, and now the electrolyzer is kind of submerged, but it is still going to work as long as these 2 tiles here are free. This system cannot be mirrored, at least I didn't successfully manage to do it. But what this is going to do is provoke the hydrogen to move up and the oxygen to move to the left side. So we'll always have the 2 gases in separate rooms, in separate systems. And this is only possible if you have the electrolyzer submerged. It will also not detect the maximum gas pressure, so it is always going to continue unless we have a system in place here with the atmo sensor that is going to shut it down if we don't use all the oxygen. Now, if we think about the automation, let's set this Atmos sensor to below 5,000 grams. And the two other Atmos sensors are going to be above 500 grams. So above 500 grams, we want to start pumping out the oxygen or the hydrogen in case of the pump on the right. And then as long as we are below 5 kilograms, we want to enable the signal, so it is going to turn on the electrolyzer. As for the logic down here, we might have to change a few things. Let's think about the battery slot here. What is this doing? It is sending a green signal when it is less than low threshold. Since we set this to 60, at 60% battery charge, it is going to send a green signal enabling the generator here. Right now we also have it hooked up to the electrolyzer, but that doesn't necessarily make sense. Because the electrolyzer should be running as long as we are below the 5 kilograms this sensor is set to. Below 5 kilograms, send the green signal to the electrolyzer, and if we are above, then we don't want the electrolyzer to run. So we could technically do something like this, but I don't like how the cables are going. I'm gonna go for more complicated solutions just to make things a little nicer looking to my eyes. So instead I'm gonna set up a bridge here, another bridge there. We go up, let me see, yeah, give me a wire there with a wire up, wire down, and this for some reason looks more sorted to me. I don't know why. Maybe the better possibility would be to take this cable and go straight over. That might actually make more sense. And then we connect the battery straight over to the generator. Yeah, that makes more sense. I'm missing a bunch of pipes here, but once we build those, we can already close off the room. And then the only thing that's missing is the radiant pipe cooling loop. And then finally get the contraption started. One thing I shouldn't forget about is I wanna first pump out the room here so it is a vacuum. Once we close this off, there is no gas connection between the rooms. However, I need this to be a vacuum for the hydrogen to actually move up in the square. That means in the beginning we'll be getting some oxygen that I'm just gonna divert back into the system, and we're gonna do that with this little temporary gas pipe. Voila, the system is closed off. That means I should be able to hook up the power, at least temporarily, though this cable is already... no, it's not at its limit. The battery has a little bit of charge. I'm gonna activate this pump now, and we are gonna... let's see. Yeah, I don't want this to happen right now. This is what I wanted to see only until we have pumped out all the oxygen from there. Which actually might take a while because I first have to breathe it away. Though what we could already do is set up a vent here and maybe another one here on the top. Connect these with the pipes. And then as of this point, we're not going to be needing this system anymore. We can remove the pump. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might want to leave the pump in until everything is in working order. Oh, nice. Looks like we already achieved a vacuum here, as you can see. So now we set this to above 500 grams again. And now I would say we seriously need to implement the pipes. We're going to start our cooling loop from here, and we're going to be using the iron for that. All I want to do is cover as much space as possible in order to cool down the oxygen that is going to be coming from the electrolyzer. And this should be totally enough to get it to the exact temperature we have for the water itself. So if our water is 24 degrees, this should be the temperature of the oxygen we're getting. Now I'm debating about this part. I think I want to move this up a little bit, meaning I'm gonna be entering the contraption from this side. Yeah, I like that a lot better. And then once that's built, I believe we are done. No, we have to fix the piping here so the bridge can go and the pipes can go back into the hydrogen generator. Okay, this process feels incredibly inefficient because I'm only ever bringing as much materials back home as I need for one single craft. So I'm just grabbing 100 kilograms of ore at a time, which is extremely time consuming. I'm gonna make this process a little bit faster by actually sweeping up some iron ore that I'm bringing up in high quantities. And then I will be able to do these crafts a little bit quicker. That's what I'm talking about. Lots and lots of kilograms of iron back home. Now we should have enough to be able to finish the rest of the crafting here. Look at how quickly this is going. Very nice. Yes, I am determined. I need nobody. There are just 3 more pipes to go, but in the future we need to streamline certain building projects in order to make them really quick. So I think a good preparation is going to be all the more important for the one duplicate challenge. Wonderful. I'm just about to close off the contraption. It should be able to work on its own very soon. We got the piping in place. I would say we're gonna test it out right away. So all we have to do is connect these and the water can flow. Right now I still have it hooked up to the main system since we need to produce the initial power. But right now you can see the hydrogen is going up and the oxygen will be going to the left side. And this thing is just gonna run until we reach the 5 kilograms in here, and then it's gonna be turned off by the Atmos sensor. This, in the meantime, needs to accumulate at least 500 grams before we can pump it over. Let's see. Yeah, now hydrogen is coming in. It's going into the hydrogen generator, and as of this point, the system should be able to take care of itself. So let's connect these pipes, make sure this is the only oxygen we are providing right now. So the old system can now definitely go. And even more than that, we can cut it off here from the oxygen system. We're not going to need this connection anymore since the system will be taking care of itself. This way we'll have a slight overproduction of hydrogen that we might want to take care of in the future. But for now, I'm just happy that this is a self-containing system and it's not sucking power out of any other circuit. Of course, it's also very efficient, using very little water in order to create all that nifty oxygen for me. So bye-bye oxygen diffuser for now. We might use it in other situations. It's always handy to be able to use the oxygen diffuser to make a quick and dirty oxygen setup. Wonderful. That seems to be working so far. One thing we have to make sure is that we always provide water. If at any point this is gonna run dry of water, it's also gonna run dry of electricity. So I'm still gonna keep this wire in place in case at some point we need to fix it. Later on, we're also gonna install a failsafe in order to take care of that automatically should we not be on the planetoid. In between the clips, I also updated a mod in order to only give me items and no spawnable duplicates. But I'm gonna lower the frequency at which I can print anything to 5 cycles instead of 3. Still, this way I don't have to always look at the duplicates and I can print whatever the heck I want. For instance, a Draclet egg. Why the heck not? Great, with that out of the way, we have achieved everything I wanted in today's episode. That is, research everything necessary for that contraption and also build it, as it is really handy to have. No more resources required other than providing water, though we'll have to find a replenishable source of water before we run dry. But with that out of the way, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Have a great time and see you in the next one. Bye bye.